Crypto is a roller coaster, and even the smartest minds in the space get it wrong sometimes. In today's video, we're taking a closer look at how some of the most popular crypto YouTubers have performed this cycle. We'll analyze their latest portfolio reveals, track performance from the date of publishing, and see how their allocations have played out. This isn't meant to mock anyone. It's just a fun, objective breakdown to see who managed risk well and who's felt the pain like the rest of us. In the end, we'll rank the portfolios based purely on numbers and performance. We're covering 6 creators: ElioTrades, Becker, Neuner, Deutscher, No BS Crypto, and House of Crypto. If you enjoy this kind of content alongside the usual market updates and educational breakdowns, let us know in the comments. And if you're new here, consider liking the video and subscribing to stay in the loop. Let's start with one of the most well-known gaming-focused influencers, ElioTrades. Elio dropped his latest portfolio on 28 November 2024. Interestingly, that turned out to be a local top for many altcoins, so I expected his 1 million portfolio to be in rough shape. But on closer inspection, it's actually quite well-rounded and balanced, with a solid mix of large caps and even a couple of crypto-related stocks. About 50% of his portfolio is allocated to the top 5 altcoins, a strategy that makes you look like a genius when Bitcoin takes a hit. He holds Bitcoin and Solana at 20% each and ETH at 10%. That's a strong core. What stands out is his exposure to MicroStrategy and Coinbase stock, which is honestly a smart move. MicroStrategy has performed exceptionally well, while Coinbase has had a rough couple of months, but the inclusion still adds diversity. Beyond that, Elio leans into his strengths with allocations to gaming and AI tokens. He's also got some exposure to meme coins, with 2% each in Pepe and Mog and 1% in Doge. He holds some NFT collections and his own project Superverse, but we haven't factored those into this analysis. His portfolio peaked on 8 December 2024, just over a week after it was published, up around 12% at its all-time high. Since then, it's been on a slow grind downward, even as Bitcoin has stayed relatively strong. This alone highlights just how dominant Bitcoin has been this cycle. When Bitcoin topped on 20th January 2025, Elio's portfolio was sitting at break-even. But during Bitcoin's local low on 7th April, the portfolio was down about 50%. As of now, it's still down around 23%, which might sound bad. But honestly, most portfolios have done worse. Fun fact, if Elio had gone all in on Bitcoin instead of diversifying, he'd be up 3% today instead of being down 36%. Low-cap altcoins have clearly been punished. Just imagine how this portfolio would have looked if it were purely low caps. Speaking of which, let's take a look at Elio's close friend Becker and see how his portfolio has held up. Alex needs no introduction. With a following of 1.6 million, his channel is one of the most entertaining in the space, and the man is known for being direct and no-nonsense. While he hasn't shared exact portfolio allocations, if you follow his content, it's pretty easy to figure out what he's holding. For consistency across comparisons, we've used a $1 million allocation and the same date as ElioTrades, November 28, 2024. Alex is focused almost entirely on gaming and AI, and his portfolio reflects that. Every token he holds fits into one of those two categories. He's always been upfront about the fact that he doesn't have deep knowledge outside of those sectors, so he sticks to what he understands. Last cycle, he was heavily into gaming, advising several projects, and he continues that trend this time around. A good portion of his allocation has likely come from advisory roles, which he's also been transparent about. So calling it a straight loss wouldn't be accurate. That said, let's look at how the portfolio has performed since November 28th. Just like Alex's portfolio peaked on December 8th with a huge gain of 57%. A day later, Bitcoin hit its all-time high of 109K, and since then his portfolio has been bleeding. When Bitcoin dropped to 74K on April 7th, Alex's portfolio was down 73%. Right now, it's still down by 67%. That's a clear reminder of just how brutal low-cap altcoins can be. When the market's hot, they can print crazy gains, but when Bitcoin pulls back, they tend to collapse hard. Next up is the portfolio shared by Peter from House of Crypto. He's had a strong run this cycle, with his following growing rapidly thanks to his consistent focus on trending narratives. One of his standout early calls was Sui, a project he's backed repeatedly, and to his credit, that call played out well. Toward the end of November, he released a 2-part portfolio reveal. The first video covered large caps, followed the next day by his low-cap picks. Since he didn't mention any allocation specifics, we've tracked performance using equal weights across all 15 coins. The portfolio is built mainly around layer 1s and AI plays, with a few smaller high-risk bets mixed in. It got off to a strong start, rallying to 62% gains by December 8. After a small correction, it hit its peak on December 12 with a 66% gain. Like most alt-heavy portfolios, it struggled in the months that followed. April 9 marked its lowest point, down 67%. As of now, the portfolio remains 52% below its starting value. Some of the low caps have dragged performance sharply. Mode is down over 80%. On the flip side, SUI has held up reasonably well, especially considering even some large caps have dropped more than 50% in the same period. Let's now go through the portfolio of Deutscher, who was earlier part of Crypto Banter before launching his own channel. He released his 15-coin portfolio on October 26, 2024 with equal weightage. His selection covered a wide range of narratives, from layer 1s and AI to gaming, RWA, and even meme coins. The performance pattern of this portfolio is quite unique. It saw an initial rise around November 23 followed by a dip, then a strong comeback that peaked on December 19. This was just a day before Bitcoin touched its all-time high of 109K. At that point, the portfolio was up 63%. Since then, it has declined significantly and now sits 41% below its starting value, which also marks its lowest point so far. There have been a few bright spots. Ondo, his RWA pick, and Aave are both up by 25% and have softened the fall. On the flip side, Mantra is down 70% and the meme coin GOAT has plunged 90%. Overall, despite the balanced structure, the portfolio couldn't escape the broader altcoin correction. Let's break down the portfolio of Kyren from No BS Crypto. His channel has grown rapidly this cycle and now sits at 140K subscribers. He stands out for his data-first approach, often choosing facts over hype. On July 10, 2024, he revealed a 7-coin portfolio aimed at achieving a 20x return. For tracking purposes, we've assumed equal allocation across all coins. The portfolio includes a mix of different narratives featuring layer 1s, oracles, gaming, depin, and real-world assets. It had a solid start, peaking at a 52% gain on December 8, but the momentum didn't last. By April 7, it hit its lowest point with a 59% drop. As of now, it remains 53% down. Most of the picks were high to mid caps, yet the performance has been disappointing. ICP has held up the best with only a 35% decline. On the other hand, the much-hyped Layer 2 wormhole is down 74%, which reflects how harsh the market has been on mid-caps this cycle. Next is Neuner, who runs Crypto Banter, one of the biggest crypto YouTube channels with over 1 million subscribers. He shared his portfolio on March 25, 2024, featuring 15 coins with equal allocation. The portfolio was structured with a focus on larger caps, including Layer 1s, AI, and DeFi. The idea seemed more about stability than chasing huge upside. That approach showed in the numbers. The portfolio peaked with a 40% gain on December 6. It saw its worst point on April 9 with a 53% drawdown but has since recovered moderately. As of now, it is down 32%. Some assets have performed quite well despite the market conditions. SUI, Bitcoin, Radium, and Cetus are in profit. However, names like Pyth, Rune, and Arweave are still deep in the red, each down more than 80%. While the upside wasn't massive, this portfolio has managed to absorb the downside better than most. So here's how things played out. Elio saw his gains top out at 12%, then took a sharp hit, dropping as much as 50%, and right now he's sitting 23% in the red. Neuner stands out a bit. He peaked at 40%, took a 53% hit at the lowest point, but compared to the others, he's managed the downside better and is now 32% below the starting line. Deutscher reached a 63% peak, but it's been a steady slide since. He hasn't recovered, and that all-time low is now his current position, down 41%. Peter from House of Crypto had a similar story. His highest point was a 66% gain, followed by a big drop, and he's now 52% below where he started. Kyren hit a high of 52%, saw a major drawdown of 59%, and hasn't bounced back much. He's down 53% today. Becker had a stronger run early on, up 57% at one point, but things turned ugly. At its worst, he was down 73%, and he's still deep underwater, currently down 67%. Out of all 6, ElioTrades held up the best, but even he's still down 23%. On the flip side, Alex's high-risk, high-reward strategy took the biggest hit, with his portfolio now sitting 66% in the red. So what's the takeaway? If your portfolio is bleeding, you're definitely not alone. Even some of the most well-known names in the space get it wrong. No one can predict the market perfectly. That's why managing risk and taking full responsibility for your decisions is so important. Also keep in mind that many influencers likely exited before the major drops. Most of them are full-time traders and follow clear invalidation levels. You should do the same. Be proactive, set your invalidation points, and never get emotionally tied to a coin. If you found this helpful, give the video a like and follow us on socials for timely market updates. Appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next one.